And now I'm here in the kitchen with Chef Katy Meyer. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back. And in your restaurant, and when you come do recipes on Iowa Ingredient, you are so inventive with some of the things that you put together. What is that creative process like for you when you come up with a new dish?
I really try and focus on things that are in season and available locally, and I feel like if you look to what is coming out of the earth at the same time, you'll just naturally come up with combinations that work because nature is giving us things that should be enjoyed together. So I really try and see what's around and then just try to keep the flavors really pure and just complementary. And yeah, I mean, it's harder in the winter because there's not as much around, but it's really fun this time of year.
And sometimes is this as spontaneous as finding out what's available right now and thinking, I'm going to serve this tonight?
Yeah, I feel like that's part of the fun, is maybe there's a bunch of this one thing available right now and only for the next week, so do your best to use it while it's here. I feel like that's just part of the fun of the job.
Now, Iowa Ingredient works different. We call you and we're like, Katy, here's this specific ingredient. Can you come up with a recipe? Today we're going to be cooking with cantaloupe, which must be a real challenge. But what is that like to start with? Here's a random ingredient assigned, and now you need to come up with a couple recipes.
It's always super fun to see what you guys throw at me, and I'm up for anything because I just enjoy this experience so much. Cantaloupe isn't like one of my top 5, but I'll take it. And it's fun to work with something that I'm not used to working with that challenges me to be creative, and it's also, you kind of find that there are basic recipes that maybe you're used to using a certain ingredient, but you can use a different one in its place and come up with something just as good or even better. So,
well, let's get cooking.
All right.
All right, so the cantaloupe challenge was thrown down. What are you going to make first?
So we are going to make a cantaloupe spice bread.
Ooh.
That, thanks to one of my cooks who told me it's basically just zucchini bread, which it is. So that's good.
But
it's accessible.
A new spin.
Yes.
All right.
So it's just going to be a basic recipe, kind of a sweet bread recipe, but first we're going to grate the cantaloupe. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. We're gonna use that for something else in a little bit. And get all of that out from there. All right, so we'll set that aside.
All right.
And we have our dry ingredients here. So like I said, just a really basic sweetbread, cakey kind of recipe. So all-purpose flour and sugar. And then here we have some baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And then this is a nice little spice blend. Cinnamon and ginger, and then cardamom is one of my favorite spices, and I kind of put it in everything. So there's some cardamom in there too, but not too much. So those are our dry ingredients, and then for our wet ingredients, do you have a bowl for me?
I do have a bowl for you.
Great, thank you. And since we're not using an egg or any eggs, we're using flax meal, and it's mixed with a little water, and then you let it sit for a little while and it thickens up, and it's just a nice plant-based binding agent. And then we have some just regular vegetable oil and some lime juice. And then some maple. And then this could be plant milk. It's actually vanilla soy creamer. It's kind of one of my secret, not so secret baking ingredients. It's also one of the things that I just love, so.
And was that vanilla?
That was vanilla, thank
right.
you. A little bit more vanilla, yep. So just mixing these wet ingredients, making sure that that flax is all mixed up in there. I'm gonna use my whisk. And then we'll add the wet to the dry, and then we'll add in the cantaloupe. And we have our oven preheated to 350. This is gonna make 2 little loaves of bread. It freezes beautifully, so I figure since you're making it, you might as well make 2 loaves and freeze 1.
I love that this takes about a half a cantaloupe. So
It does, yeah.
Because often my family will eat half a cantaloupe and then it just sits.
The other half sits around, yeah. All right, so we are gonna mix this all together and make sure we get all of those dry ingredients mixed in with the rest of the dough.
And it's starting to smell really good. This is, and the sort of the spice mixture is something I'm used to, and then put the cantaloupe in there. It's unusual.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And these are oiled really well. We don't want anything to stick. And these are obviously gonna rise when they bake.
Here's the other one.
Thank you.
This smells tropical.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and I love ginger in baked goods as well. And cinnamon, I feel like you just have to put that in any kind of cookie or bread situation. All right. So that looks pretty evenly divided. And then if you want to open the oven for me,
I will do that.
I will come over with these loaves. So those are gonna bake for about like 45 to 60 minutes. It just kind of really depends on your oven. And what you're looking for when they're done is for a toothpick inserted in the center to come out clean. I'm sure you've heard that before. And also when you press the top that it springs back a little. So, yeah.
So we've got a beautiful loaf here, out of the oven and cooled.
Yes.
And you're gonna make a little glaze for it?
Yes, we're just gonna take some cantaloupe that's cubed. It's just the leftover that I didn't grate earlier, and we're gonna puree it. That was already and we do want it to be almost like, not liquefied, but we don't want it to be chunky at all because this is basically
This will be smooth.
standing in for some of the liquid that you would make powdered sugar glaze with,
Sure.
which is exactly what we're doing. Just have a bunch of powdered sugar here, and then we're gonna add this directly to the powdered sugar. Pay no attention to the large amount of powdered sugar that we're using.
I'm not. My children would wholeheartedly approve, I can tell you that though.
And then we're gonna add some lime juice. I feel like lime and cantaloupe go really well together. And then hopefully this will kind of be what we want.
Nice.
You go ahead.
Okay. Oh, wow. It is very tropical. And that glaze is so
good.
bright.
You get the
Yeah.
lime too in there even.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Katie.
My pleasure.
All right, we've had our delicious cantaloupe bread.
Yes.
Now we're gonna make a salad. Tell me about this.
Yeah, we are gonna make a black bean and sweet potato salad that we're gonna serve kind of on top of some sliced cantaloupe. So when you eat it, we'll mix everything together, but first we're just gonna start by making the salad. So I have some thinly sliced red onions that I'm pouring this balsamic vinegar over to kind of just macerate them, which means that the acid will break down the onions just really slightly, really quickly, so we don't get that like super pungent raw onion taste, but we still want a little flavor.
So we get the great flavor, and then it's not gonna stay with us for the rest of the day,
Hopefully
maybe?
not, yeah, we'll see. And then, so I just have some black beans and some roasted sweet potatoes. And I'm gonna put a little salt and pepper on those and stir those up. And then we have some cherry tomatoes. So tomatoes and melon go together really well. They're usually in season together. And these are just some gorgeous
Beautiful cherry tomatoes.
tomatoes. You could put in as many or as few as you like, or you could definitely do just like diced, heirloom tomatoes or slicer tomatoes, whatever you like. We'll put a little salt on those. And then we have some really delicious herbs, some cilantro and some basil. And I like to use the stems on cilantro because I think I've even said this on the show before. They have a delicate flavor that's just like the leafy herb itself. So no reason to not use them. And then we'll do a little bit of basil. Ooh, I love basil. All right, so then I have a fresh lime that we're gonna zest, because I love citrus, especially with melon. That also smells
Yes.
wonderful. Okay. And then some more salt on there, and then some olive oil to kind of bring it all together. Give everything a good stir, lots of pretty colors in there.
Now this looks like something you could serve immediately, but also if you let it sit, the flavors would really meld, wouldn't
Yeah, definitely. You could make this ahead of time. You could store it in the fridge overnight. Yeah, or you could eat it right away.
it? Which we'll do.
Yes. So now I'm gonna just slice up some of this melon to put on the plate. Thank you. I'm just gonna take the skin off here. Okay, so then we have some nice slices, and we don't want these to be super thick. We want this to be kind of delicate on the plate. But again, nothing, you don't have to be really precise about it. And then we'll kind of just fan these out like that, and we'll put just like, 3 grains of salt, just a touch.
1, 2, 3. There we go.
Done. Oh my gosh, I forgot the onions. Look at that. Okay, so then we'll throw in.
But onions can go in at any time.
But yeah, and the longer those sit, the kind of better it is for everything. So it's good that we forgot them, that I
Exactly.
forgot them.
That was a plan.
Yep, always a plan. All right, and then I'm just gonna plate it
Oh my goodness.
like that. And
It's
then
so pretty. It
gonna-
looks so sophisticated.
just
dress it
because
up a little bit?
I have to. So I have some fresh herbs. I have to do a little just for the camera. There we go.
That just looks amazing.
Thank you. Let's give it a try.
All right.
So make sure you get
Yeah, I gotta get some melon in
Melon.
there, right? I want everything. Oh wow.
tomato.
That works so well together. And sweet potatoes and black beans are kind of like best friends too.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And I've never had a salad like this. And
Now
I
you
also, you wanna know a secret?
Yes.
I don't love cantaloupe, but I love cantaloupe in this salad.
That's amazing. Well, then
That
I've
is-
succeeded.
You have. This is so great.
Thank
Chef
you.
Katy, thank you so much.
My pleasure.